Folks, forgive the way I look tonight. I just finished working out, but I want to get on and do a quick little vlog posting about Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I had a lady who's been watching one of my videos on should you move to North Carolina, and she sent me a question. She said she's from a southern city, a large, bustling southern city. I'm not going to mention that southern city, but quite a bit further south than what we are here in North Carolina. And she's been looking at moving to North Carolina. She has a child. She actually has several kids, but going to be moving here maybe with her child and one of her parents. And so she's asking about Winston-Salem area and what do I think of that area. She's looked at other places and actually visited a few spots in North Carolina. And so I'm going to tell you what my take on Winston-Salem is. Now, I've never lived there, but I've been there many, many times, and used to love to go shopping there. It's a place called Haynes Mall, I guess, which was for the longest time one of the best shopping malls in North Carolina. Shopping malls sort of going out of style everywhere, but I think Haynes Mall is still a pretty happening spot. First of all, a lot of really good shopping around there, really good schools. Wake Forest University's there, top-notch health care with Baptist Hospital at Wake Forest University. Also Forsyth Regional is there, which is a massive hospital. Like I say, great reputations, those places. Crime in Winston-Salem, for one of the larger cities in North Carolina. When I say large city, you know, it's not like, Charlotte is a pretty big city, but Charlotte's like 1/3 of the city that you're moving from. So even Charlotte, by comparison to where you've been living, is a small city. Winston-Salem is maybe 1/3 what Charlotte is, but it's a very nice place. I like it. It's very temperate there. It's rolling hills. Inside the city, it's probably fairly expensive, but if you move to some of the outlying areas, if you're willing to live, say, 10, 12 miles outside of Winston, come into Winston to work, then you're probably going to find some pretty decent places. I would just go to Zillow. I mean, everybody goes there and looks at the estimates on houses now. So go to Zillow and look at what the real estate prices are going to be. I'd say if you live in Winston, it's going to be a bit pricey, but depending on where you live. As I say, the schools have good reputations there. I've never been treated badly there. Truly, I mean, there are good and bad people everywhere. Crime is probably marginal, but it is happening there in Winston-Salem. I mean, it is a city. It's busy. It's bustling more than you think it is, but it's a pretty innovative place. I mean, a lot of the Moravian people are from there. I think I'm saying it right. Maybe they're not Moravian, but I think they are. The old Salem area was all there. It kind of grew up out of a lot of business in the industry and agriculture. It used to be like the center for Salem Corporation, cigarettes and big tobacco and everything back in the day. But now I think it's more, technology, it's more education, it's more entertainment and service-driven shopping. It's pretty bustling. Like I say, communication hub, big time in education. Wake Forest is a great school. If you go there and your kids decide to go to college, you could be hard set to do worse than to do better rather than Wake Forest. I mean, I know you got Duke and you got Carolina and State and all these things around, but it's the kind of place where if you want to raise your kids there, get good secondary school education, and maybe go straight into one of the universities or the community college. There is a great community college. Traffic is better than it used to be. It used to be kind of a little bit of a harrowing place to move through with traffic back before they built the big bypass interstate through there. Now you can zip from one side of Winston-Salem to the other pretty quickly, and there are a lot of little parkway type roads that you can take to get from north to south or east to west or crisscross diagonally. So the traffic generally is not too bad. I like music and stuff there. I like to go to I've shot concerts there, videos and stuff. So pretty happening nightlife. My opinion is it's nice. It's not cold like up in the mountains, and it's not blistering hot like down in the coastal plain. It's going to be a lot milder in the summer than what you're used to where you've been living, and a good bit chillier in the winter. In the winter you're probably going to have on an average day 48, 50 degree weather, whereas I think where you're coming from it's quite a bit warmer than that, and so you might have that bit of adjustment. Cost of living probably, since you're coming from a big city, cost of living honestly is probably going to be less. In North Carolina, we do have sort of a high gas tax, but even with our high gas tax at this point, we're paying like $1.76 a gallon for gasoline. It's close to one of the big petroleum hubs, so I think maybe the closer you are down toward Winston-Salem, actually it's probably cheaper. One of the things I think about Winston-Salem about is the fact that Krispy Kreme donuts originated from there. One of my favorite places. So just lay off the carbs if you can. You can really get into some restaurants. Restaurants are awesome there. Plenty of places to go eat. I can't think honestly of a downside to it. When I look at the larger cities in North Carolina, when I think of Charlotte, when I think of Greensboro, when I think of Raleigh-Durham area, of the larger areas, I tend to like the mountain places like Asheville. I like Asheville a lot, but Asheville's a little harsher winter. It's pretty expensive. Depending on what you like or not, Asheville's pretty cool. But of the flatland cities, I think Winston-Salem's my favorite. I mean, you can go out toward the coast. You go to places like Wilmington or Fayetteville and some of the other places. The bigger population centers in North Carolina. You get yourself down too far east and you're kind of in the path of an occasional hurricane or some flooding and stuff. So you're inland very well. You're also here's another thing I like about it. It's like you're close to the international airport. In Greensboro, from Winston-Salem, you could go to an international airport like Greensboro in about 25 minutes. Or maybe less than that. I haven't honestly, you've got good access to the trains and everything. I mean, I've gone to Winston-Salem or Greensboro, one place or the other. I can't remember where I caught a train. I actually went to New York on the train one time just to try it. And so you can ride the Amtrak up and down the East Coast there. I like it. As far as jobs go now, as far as I know, fairly low unemployment. At least compared to probably the rest of the state. Now, this lady I'm talking to has done various different kinds of like administrative assistant type work. You'll just have to play the job market and see. And so, you could try Winston-Salem Journal website, or you go to Monster or some of these other ones, Career Builder, and see what's there. I would just do some online search and research. But it's a pretty good town, Like I say, bad things can happen any place. There's a crime somewhat here and there, but I don't hear a whole lot bad about Winston-Salem. Let's say pretty good folks. I just don't hear of people getting treated bad there very often. So I think you're making a good choice if you're looking at one of the cities in North Carolina and you don't want to move to the mountains, which is my favorite, then probably Winston-Salem is a really good choice. So I'm glad you asked that question, and I hope that I've given you some good advice here. I dig it. It's a good place. If anyone else has any questions about North Carolina, I pretty much know it from one end to the other. I love all kinds of other states. I can start saying things I love about this state or that state, but North Carolina's home, always has been for the most part, and I always like coming back to it. It's one of those places that to me is just right. It's like the three bears and Goldilocks. You go to this state, that state, things you like about one or the other, but then you get to one and you just know it's just right. And so that's what North Carolina's been for me. Peace to all who watch. Subscribe if you like. If you want to weigh in about Winston-Salem, what you like or don't like about it, then go ahead and leave some comments in the comments below. Thanks again for watching.